Hi, my name is Kathy Fosno and this is Kat's Creative Corner. Welcome to Tuesday's card. First of all, I wanted to say I'm sorry there wasn't a video last week. My kitchen was completely torn down because we had to replace the ceiling, and all my stuff from my kitchen, my small appliances and everything, were all over my table, which is where I stamp. As you can see, this is my kitchen dining room table, and so I couldn't get to anything. All there was plastic and cardboard and drywall and everything all over the place for almost a week. So now my kitchen's back in order, and if you're curious, when you get done with this video, you can go to my website and I'll put a couple of pictures on and show you what a mess it was. But today we're going to be using this stamp set, the Fairy Celebration. And if you'll notice on this little fairy, her wings are in the shape of a butterfly, and if you use the Petite Butterfly punch, you can cut a butterfly out and put it on her back instead of just coloring it in, and it looks really cute. So today we're going to be making this card, very basic, simple card, and we're going to start by we're going to start with a sheet of 8.5 by 5.5 or 11.5 cardstock, and we're going to cut it 5.5, and we're going to score it 4 1/4. Then we're going to take a sheet of Daffodil Delight, and we're going to cut it at 5 1/4 by 4. Then we have a sheet of Whisper White, and we're going to cut this at 3 3/4 by 5. We're using StazOn because I want the ink to be sure not to run in case I need to use my blender pen, and I probably will. So we're going to stamp that. We're going to stamp it not completely to the top or to the bottom because I want to have Happy Birthday stamped at the bottom. I'm going to leave a little space. That didn't come out. Okay, we're going to do it again. And I think my StazOn might need to get some re-inking because it's done that a couple times lately. So I have a re-inker, and I'll get to that later today probably. Sometimes if you huff on it, it makes it go a little bit better. All right. I'm going to hold it a little longer, and there we have a perfect image. Okay. Now I'm going to be using a lot of our Stampin' Write markers. And the first one I'm going to use is Wild Wasabi. And remember, our markers have two different types of ends, a pencil type and a brush type. And on the stems, I'm going to use the brush type. I love Wild Wasabi. It's one of my favorite greens. And I'm just going to brush the grass here. That's a stem. We want to get that stem. And I just you can do some sponging if you wanted on the grass, but I kind of like just the bareness of this, not making it real filled in. I mean, it's supposed to be a close-up of the grass because fairies are tiny. I mean, she's sitting on a mushroom, for goodness sake. Okay. I've been gone for about 3 weeks, really. I had my videos made up ahead of time, so you still got your videos, but I've been gone to Oregon, and I've been gone to California at the in the Central California, Merced, California. In case you don't know where that is, it's kind of halfway between Merced and between Modesto and Fresno. Okay. I'm going to color in the tops of these stems with Pear Pizzazz just to give it a little contrast. Okay, now I'm going to take and I'm going to use Crumb Cake, and I'm going to color in, I think I'll still use, ooh, that went away. I'll have to find that in a minute. I'm going to use Crumb Cake to do the little dots on the mushroom. And the stem of the mushroom. And then I'm going to color the rest of the mushroom with soft suede. Now I keep pulling the lid off and not seeing. If I'd pay attention, you'll notice on your markers you have a thin line and a wide line, and that tells you which end is the end that you want, but I just always go for it and almost half the time wind up with it the wrong end. Now you can kind of use your blender pen to blend in some of this if you don't like the way it looks. I kind of think a mushroom kind of should look a little bit not perfect. I mean, mushrooms aren't perfect. Love to eat them. I don't know if I'd eat this one. This could be the wrong kind of mushroom. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to use the So Saffron for the flowers. And I'm not doing blending because I don't have Copic markers and I'm not real good. We don't have a lot of different shades to color in like that. So I'm just coloring the way I feel like coloring. Now I'm going to use my very palest pink pirouette, and I'm going to just do her very lightly. Little girl. I'm going to color her skin in very pink. It's not real, I don't want it to be real pink. I want it to be more fleshy, but we really don't have a good flesh color. Okay, there's that. And now I'm going to color her little dress, and that I want to do with the brush. This reminds me kind of the dress I wore at my daughter's wedding 27 years ago, I think it was. I felt like a princess in it, even though the bride, of course, was much more beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to take Pool Party and I'm going to color around the trim of the butterfly. And you can color this butterfly wing any color you want. I'm just picking the colors that I was in the mood for today. Yeah, I saw family in Oregon, and in all truth, this little fairy reminds me of a couple of my nieces, great nieces. Now I'm using Bermuda Bay to color in the rest of her wings. They used to have really long, wavy hair, and it was just beautiful. And it's still beautiful, it's just that it's not long like it used to be. They've cut it, and that's fine, they're entitled. I cut my hair all the time too. But this just reminds me of them when they were little. Okay, so there's my butterfly. Now all I have left is her hair, and because it's kind of wavy, I don't want to fill it all in with one color. I just want to kind of, I'm using chocolate chip to get going, and I'm just going to kind of go with the waves. And then I'm going to kind of fill it in with the soft suede, or no, the crumb cake. I'm going to kind of brush the crumb cake. It kind of makes it have a little multicolored look, like our hair does anyway. No hair is exactly one color. So that is it. She is done. So I am going to pin her, or glue pin. That would be painful for her. I'm going to put my Snell adhesive, and I'm going to put her right in the center of this. And now I'm going to take some of my rhinestones, because you know a card's not a card till it's got rhinestones, right? So I'm going to color in some with a Sharpie. Remember that with the Sharpie, you have to use a Sharpie because it is alcohol based and it'll stay on the little rhinestones and dry off. If we used our markers, it wouldn't stay on because they're water based. So I'm just going to put a few rhinestones on her little wings here that I've colored in. just to make it have a little sparkle. You can also take a wink of Stella and brush it. Let's do that. Let's do our wink of Stella and brush it. It'll just give the wings a little glimmer. See, I don't know if you can see the glimmer from the wink of Stella or not. Okay, and then last but not least, we need to add happy birthday to our card. So we're going to take this stamp off. And this is actually a little bit bigger block, but too big a block, but I'm going to use it anyway. And I'm going to use the Archival black ink to stamp the happy birthday. And I'm just going to do it right at the bottom here. And there it is. That card is finished. I hope you enjoyed watching me make this card, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also, I would love it if you'd go on over to my website at katscreativecorner.com, and there you'll find the measurements and all the supplies that I used for this card. Thank you for coming by.